Hey guys, how's it going? It's Caleb here. So I have some very bad news. Recently, my Mustang, I have a 2005 Mustang GT, and recently my car was vandalized. It's a really crappy story, and I'm here to tell that story. So, a little while ago, this kind of happened a while ago, but I recently received the results back from the court, but I'll talk more about that later. So, I think it was a Thursday night, and I was driving some friends to one of their friends' house. So, I was just driving them there. I dropped them off. I parked my car under one of those open parking, like pavilion areas. And I just parked it under there. I went into their friend's house for a little while. I wasn't planning on staying. I was gonna drop them off, and I had some other plans for the night. So I was just trying to be a good friend and drop them off. And so I dropped them off, and I stayed there for about 20 minutes. And I left. I walked out to my car, and then like instantly, when I saw it, I was like, oh my god, like what just happened to this thing? I was only in there for 20 minutes, and there were some kids kind of in the parking lot. It was pretty early in the night, so there was just a lot of people just out and around. And there were some kids in the parking lot that told me, they're like, hey, like, is this your car? Some people just came up and they vandalized it. And I was, at this point, I was like freaking out. I was like, all right, like what's going on here? What do I do? How do we like find these guys? What am I gonna do? So they kind of helped me out. They described the people to me. I got all their information, and so then the place that this happened, it was in a parking garage that was inside of an apartment complex. So basically, the apartment complex is run and taken care of by security. So that's who I called. I called the security, and then they came out. And then while I was talking with security, they called the police to file a police report. And I was just explaining what was going on. And then one of the witnesses, there was three witnesses. One of the witnesses came up to me, and they're like, "Hey, listen, like, those are the guys right over there." And apparently they were standing off in the side, or like off to the side, and they were like watching me, I guess, call the authorities. So then we told security, we were like, hey, listen, you guys have to get these guys. Like, they're just gonna walk away or run away. So we, or they eventually got the guys. I mean, they didn't really want to run away or anything, but like they got them. They were able to get the guys to hang around until the police got there. And the sheriffs were very kind during the whole thing. They really helped me out a lot. I was able to get all their information, and they really helped me out. I took a bunch of pictures of the car. I'll flash those up in a minute, and I'll kind of explain what happened to the car. But they were really helpful, and it ended up that they got all the kids' information. They questioned the witnesses, questioned the kids, and then they just said, hey, like it's time to take it into court. And they were not able to, I guess, apprehend the kids and get them into custody like that night, but it was necessary for them to appear in court at a later date. And what actually happened to the car, I'll flash those pictures up now. The kids, they're under this parking garage, or this parking like pavilion. There's a vinyl like layer on the interior ceiling. And what happened is, and from what it seems like and what I saw, and looking at the car and getting witnesses testimony, they pulled down the roof of this like vinyl, and then they started using that roof. It had some like sharp edges. It came in these giant rectangle like pieces of vinyl, and they started using that to, I guess, hit the car, drag it across the car, and do whatever. And the way that these marks were made was not, this wasn't just a flat fall on the car. because the roofing was flat and then it just fell straight down, or was pulled straight down, and then it was then taken up to used to attack the car with. So it was really crappy that the damage they did to the car. I tried to take as many pictures as possible to to use in court, to do whatever I could, and it was kind of bad. It was at night, so it was bad lighting out, so it was really hard to see the full damage and see what was really going on. But most of the damage was to the front hood, both of the fenders, and then the mirrors were damaged as well. And it ended up costing me, I was fortunate enough that most of the fixing up could have been done with minor paint corrections, and I had to get new mirrors, and then once all the paint was corrected, and then like a full detail of the exterior took care of most of the damage. So it didn't end up being too expensive, but I was hoping I didn't have to pay for it. The total bill was a little over, it was between $700 and $800 if I remember correctly. But the crappy part is I have to pay for this. After the, I guess, criminal trial, I forwarded, well, before the trial, I forwarded my information about what it was going to cost to the sheriff, and he said that he would use that in order to try to get the kids to pay for whatever the damages were. So unfortunately, and I completely disagree with this ruling, but the judge said that the kids did not mean to damage the car, and which is, I mean, completely bogus from witness statements. And I mean, you can see from the pictures just how it fell and how the incident occurred, that this was by no means an accident. But I mean, I just kind of got screwed out of $700 on that one. But I mean, I guess it is what it is. There's not a whole lot I can do at this point. But yeah, I really wanted to tell that story, and maybe invest in a dash cam or something like that. I don't know. Hope you guys found this helpful or entertaining at least.